There is a new wave of African movies that doesn't have the same taste like it's supposed to. Whether it's Nollywood, Gollywood, Riverwood from Kenya, or South African film industry, they seem to be lacking a special ingredient that makes it difficult to be consumed by either locals or global audience. A wave that will make African movies market get stuck or take longer to fully reach its potential. Thanks to social media, anything can go viral these days. But behind every successful movie, there is a lot that goes behind: marketing, editing, perfect casting, a good script, and of course a good budget. These are just the basics. But if it's that simple, then how come African cinema is still lagging behind? I'm Blender J, and let's get into details. Africa has come a long way from its first African directed movie, Boron Saret, and has since grown to making thousands of movies annually, more than Hollywood in terms of number. Yet they always get swept under the carpet. For beginners, Africa is not one monolithic film industry. It's a continent with over 50 countries, each with its own language, stories, and cinematic styles. Surprisingly, most of these movies don't make past regional TVs or DVD sales, which is largely contributed by piracy. It's estimated that Kenya alone has over 54,000 movie shops, most of which charge under 50 shillings for a whole season of series. Imagine the budget versus the illegal distributions. For those who grew up in Kenya, there was the DJ Afro era, where he narrated movies for people struggling with foreign languages, and it made it harder for local filmmakers to penetrate their narrative to the market. Why should anyone pay $25 for a ticket while their movie guy has a whole series for 40 shillings? And although filmmakers like Mkurugenzi have reintroduced the theater culture to curb piracy, it still remains to be an issue. How can we not have a 20,000-seater indoor arena? They are easier to secure, weatherproof, and they make business sense. And as the fight against piracy is on, lack of Pan-African collab is slowly breaking potential mega projects. It's only a few days for Squid Game 3 to be released, and the hype is overwhelming compared to Kings of Joburg 3 of South Africa. And this is due to lack of unified interest. Most filmmakers have diverse interests, which can lead to disagreement and inability to find common ground. Imagine a movie by Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria. It would be such a banger. A story told by Africans, because for a long time, other people have been telling African stories. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are rumored to make a movie about Mansa Musa of Mali, and some fans feel it's not okay. African stories told by Africans. Americans steal everything, and that is not okay. And I have nothing against Coogler. He has been cooking ever since he came up to the game, with 4 movies grossing over 100 million domestically. But for the longest time, the West has been getting African stories wrongly. Hollywood never gets African accents right, or when actors don't match the groups they are meant to portray. A movie like Coming to America 2 portrays an outdated stereotypes with exaggerated depiction of royal customs. It's not every African country that has lions roaming around. You see, festivals like FESPACO fight to portray African excellence, but more is needed. Early 2023, I enrolled to a school to learn cinematography and post-production, an opportunity to be in a film and TV industries. But funding was a problem and I had to quit after a while. Chadwick once said that there was no Black Panther without Denzel, thanks to his fans that got him through the theater program. Because here in Africa, it's a challenge and most young people have to kill their dreams before they even begin. And if you are lucky like Lupita Nyong'o of Kenya and Gurira of Zimbabwe, there are also challenges on the other side, like colorism and funding your own dreams. In Uganda, most movies don't see the light of day due to lack of funds and low budget, which at times lead to poor quality and small domestic market. And although actors like Idris Elba have shown interest in investing in African films, lack of training and funds in movies continues to skyrocket. But here is also another missing link: storytelling, typecasting, and lack of connection, a backbone to every good movie. If you grew up watching Afro cinema dramas, you could predict the movie by how it begins. If a boy is an orphan, he is probably the missing prince of faraway land who was stolen in a hospital. If a girl is mistreated by the stepmother, she is probably going to end up with the prince and they will live happy ever after. Repetitive stories that were boring and lacked creativity. Stories that were filled with emotional music that didn't help connect at all. I could personally give you over 10 quotes I heard from a movie 10 years ago, but I cannot give you 3 quotes from an African movie today. It's hard for me to remember, because a good story is supposed to be memorable. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to cram it from the beginning to the end, which is a problem with our African movies. When Alice in Borderland was released, I cried because I saw myself in those shoes. It was relatable. I deeply connected with the character Niragi Suguru, who was unpredictable, and it made the whole thing fun. A component African movies are missing now. On Kings of Joburg, the personality of the main characters go through multiple makeovers. So in the end, nobody has any core personality to speak of. Repeated plots, bizarre twists, struggling actors, and a storyline which latch from the sublime. These may sound harsh, but it's very evident with modern entertainers like Modola of Nigeria. A fan said, "I will choose Modola's skits over movies she's featured in. Reason, she isn't exciting to me now like when she first started. I can predict her character without even watching the movie. Acting all sassy until someone provokes her, and then she unleash a Yoruba agabarism. And issues actors like Sam Morris and Mr. Charles Okacha have, always portraying a similar character in every movie. And playing the same character is not much of an issue, but delivery to the audience matters." You see, I don't want to be a critic, but Africa has a long way to go. Imagine an Africa that doesn't want to be defined by Hollywood standards, one that does not care to please critics in a boardroom, an African cinema where we give young people the chance to portray their talent. Imagine an Africa where we don't cast people based on their appearance, tribe, or family connection, but fire, talent, and potential. An African film where we have African stars and African heroes. I have a feeling as we keep supporting African movie industry, the next Oscar winners will not come from Hollywood, but they're going to come from Lagos, Nairobi, or even South Africa, because it's very much possible.